quick thank you to our sponsors for making this podcast possible. They keep this show free to listen to.
You're on a GLP-1, but now you're wondering, how do I manage my side effects? What do I eat to stay strong? Because reaching your weight loss goals can take more than meds. That's where Weight Watchers Med Plus comes in. Get access to trusted experts, food plans that work with your body, and habit coaching to keep you on track. Plus access to GLP-1 medication. Get started at WeightWatchers.com. All medical services are provided through our affiliated medical group, Weight Watchers Clinic. Medications require eligibility and prescription. Individual results may vary. See site for more details.
Thanks for joining me on the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I just want to start with my own personal experience and something that I think a lot of us can relate to. So a lot of people ask me, when did you start this, parenting journey, this, way to do parenting without control, without punishments, without threats, and without yelling, without all of it. And I didn't start this journey until my oldest, Esme, who's 20, by the way, was 6 and going into first grade, and my little one was 3. But we have people start with kids who are 16, 17, and 18 years old, and this stuff works. So if you're sitting here worried that it's too late, that you've already damaged them, that everything you've done is going to ruin everything, I need you to hear this. It's not. It really isn't. I work with families where children are 16, 18, even 20 years old, and they refuse connection. And in the end, when we get rid of harshness and we get rid of the punishments, it really does end up working and really helping parents and kids forge really good relationships. I know we can all do better. I'm trying to do better all the time. And that's why we're here today. So please don't walk in here with the weight on your shoulders that everything's ruined and you can't fix anything, because we can. Before I start sharing, I want you to listen to this and really take it in. This is the core belief behind everything we're doing today. Yelling silences your message. If you speak quietly to your children, they will hear your words instead of your voice. Okay, here we go. So I want to tell you about the exact moment I knew I had to change. One of the moments, rather. But I still didn't for years. But looking back, this was the moment where I realized things were different. Esme was 2 years old. I was almost 9 months pregnant with Pia, and we were standing in the hallway, and Esme said to me for the very first time, "No, I'm not putting my shoes on." I was exhausted. I was pregnant, and I looked at her and I screamed in her face. And I knew in that moment that something had to change, and I knew in that moment something had changed inside of me. I knew I was doing something I never wanted to do. I didn't want to be the mom who yelled, and yet I ended up being the mom who yelled. 2 things that happen to kids who are yelled at. Here's what I want you to understand. When we yell at our kids, one of 2 things happens. The first type of kid fights back. They become unruly, defiant, manipulative. They yell at you, at their siblings, at their future partners. They believe that yelling is just love. That's what happened with Esme. She fought me at every single turn. The more I yelled, the worse her behavior became. The second type of kid doesn't fight back. They go inside of themselves. They withdraw. They become fearful and quiet. And here's the scary part. They can also end up gravitating toward people who yell and control. Because if we were their first relationship and they believe this is love, we have just told them that love is related to yelling and control. And we do not want that. Now, here's the piece I never hear talked about enough, the bystander. When I was yelling at Esme, I was focused on her. I was so focused on her that I forgot Pia was even watching. This little girl was watching every single fight, every moment of yelling. And at one point, Pia told me that the yelling scared her in her little tiny voice, and that she was afraid Esme and I didn't like each other, that we would end up hating each other. Do you have a child who you think is being affected by the yelling? Not being yelled at, but affected by the yelling. And here's the hardest thing I had to face. I ended up being my daughter's first bully. I taught her how to manipulate. When her best friend wouldn't do what she asked, she would say, "If you don't do what I say, you're not going to be my friend." She was 6 years old. She learned it from me. Okay, I want to give you a little bit of research here, because I think if we can hold on to some of this when we want to yell, it might be part of what keeps us from doing it. First, a study found that 13-year-olds who were yelled at by their parents responded by increasing their bad behavior the following year. So our yelling might stop them in the moment because we scare them to death. But in the long run, their behavior gets worse. That's exactly what happened with my Esme. The more I yelled, the more I controlled, the more I punished, the more I threatened, the more I bribed, her behavior kept getting worse. Here's the other piece. MRI scans of people who experienced parental verbal abuse in childhood, including yelling, show actual physical differences in the parts of their brain responsible for processing sound and language. And that same study found an increase in depression and anxiety. This changes their brain literally, the way it's made up. And here's the neuroscience of why. When you yell, we ignite the amygdala, the alarm center of the brain. That puts kids in fight, flight, or freeze. We see this. We can watch it happen. And a chronically activated amygdala actually grows bigger. We don't want the alarm center to be the biggest part of their brain, taking up the space. When we keep setting off the alarm center over and over again, the brain begins to protect it because it thinks it needs it. It makes room for it, and it squeezes out the reasoning and judgment centers. We want this to stop. We want happier kids who don't have big amygdalas. We don't want them feeling scared. Okay, so we know what it does. Now let's talk about why we do it and why the way most of us were taught to parent is making things worse. Bribes, threats, shame, belittling, punishments, and yelling, all of these are forms of control. And they're all designed to do the same thing, to coerce our children into behaving using fear. We were taught foolishly, I'd say, that control is the way to get kids to behave. And yet, if punishments actually worked, we wouldn't have to keep using them. The behaviors would disappear, but the behavior keeps existing. We keep coming back to the same punishment. It's the definition of doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Positive reinforcement is the same. When I figured out that yelling wasn't working, I thought, okay, let me try positive reinforcement. That's what they taught us when we became teachers. They taught us to use bribes. Let me try rewards. If you want to watch a show, you have to brush your teeth first. If you want a play date, you have to do X, Y, and Z. It sounds good. But it got to the point where I couldn't get Esme to do anything without a bribe. I had swapped one broken system for another. And here's the real question. What do bribes, threats, punishments, and yelling actually teach our children? Not how to behave, how to coerce, how to bribe, how to manipulate, how to yell. What we model to children is what they learn. 80% of what children learn comes from the modeling. And if we are their first relationship and we are using control, fear, and manipulation, we are handing them the blueprint for how to be in all of their relationships or what to accept in their relationships. Here's something I think is really powerful. When a child does something wrong and we come in with yelling or punishments or taking things away, we short circuit their own internal shame. Think about it. If a child hits their sibling, there's a natural moment where they feel, I shouldn't have done that. I feel terrible. But if we storm in yelling, what are you doing? I'm taking your iPad. Suddenly their focus is completely on us, our reaction, on how frightened they are, what's going to happen to them. And they skip right past the internal moral compass and they go straight to hating us. We want them to develop that internal compass, but they will only find it if we can stay calm. Okay, so we've established what not to do. Now here's the part I want you to stay for, what actually works. I have a three-pronged approach that I've come up with years ago. I want to be honest with you. I don't believe there's one thing you can do to stop yelling. It's not that simple. I wish it was. And I'm not going to pretend that it is. What I found in my own life and in working with hundreds of parents is that there's a three-pronged approach. You have to attack it on all levels. First is awareness, understanding what yelling actually does to your child's brain, to their behavior, to your relationship. We just covered this. And I want you to hold on to it because if some of that can seep into your mind when you want to yell, it might be part of what keeps you from doing it. Second is connection. And this is at the heart of everything I do with all of my parents all the time. We are a connection-based ideology. In the Peace and Parenting community, we teach how to use connection instead of these other things. Our community is steeped in it. And I'll explain exactly why in a moment. But the short version is that connected kids behave better, they do better. So when kids are connected to you, you have fewer reasons to yell. It's a beautiful cycle that works in your favor. Is it perfect? No. It's not perfect. Nothing in parenting is. And the third prong is doing your internal work on your own shame from your childhood, the things that were done to us that trigger us when we see them in our children. This is the deeper work, and we're going to get there. You need all three. You can't just breathe through it. You can't just journal. You can't just use connection without understanding what's underneath. You need all three working together all the time. And it's a big ask. It's worth it though. More than anything, you will find a better relationship with your children. Let's start with the one I care about most of all, which is connection. I want to say something and I want you to literally hear it. Parenting is not an endeavor in finding the right way to make our children behave. It is an endeavor in creating a meaningful relationship with another human being. That's our goal. And that human being is the most important person in your life. If you don't have that relationship, if parenting doesn't feel good, it becomes arduous. It feels like you're walking through quicksand all the time. We want to form the relationship, and connection is how we do it. Not punishments, not yelling, not consequences, and not taking things away. Those things all erode connection. Here's the beautiful logic of this. Connected kids behave better. They're happier. And when kids are happier and doing well, they have fewer off-track behaviors. They get along with everyone better. And when there are fewer off-track behaviors, you don't want to yell. You don't even find the urge to yell because you have a kid that's on track more. More connection, happier kids. Less crazy behaviors, less desire to yell. That's the loop. Connection also gives you more compassion for your child. When you see them as someone you're in devoted relationship with, that you're endeared to, not just someone you're responsible for managing, you become softer. You feel more endeared. And that's what keeps the yell away on the hardest days, because there will be hard days. There's still going to be kids with really hard behaviors, no matter what, connected or not. It's all about our response. Okay, let me give you the brain science behind connection. We have a prefrontal cortex. That's the reasoning center, judgment center of our brain. That center works best when it's connected to the limbic system, the feeling center. And the limbic system works best when it's connected to another human being like you. So when your child's limbic system is connected to yours, when you two are in sync, the prefrontal cortex, the reasoning center, the judgment center is sharper, makes better decision, and works better. Now, that judgment center is not fully developed. Some say 25, some people are saying 28 now. Either way, it's not today. But if it's connected to the feeling center is connected to you, your child has a much better chance of making a good choice with their immature prefrontal cortex. If they're disconnected and you're yelling and they're in fight, fight, or freeze, they're not going to make a good choice. Neurologically, they can't. Their reasoning brain's offline. It's not your fault if your child's disconnected. However, you get to be part of the remedy. You get to help fix it. You can use connection in those sticky moments as opposed to yelling, threats, bribes, or taking things away. You are the medicine. And here's the most important part. I'll say it again. You can breathe all you want. You can journal. You can take walks. You can do self-care till you're blue in the face. But until you use connection in replacement of those other things, nothing else matters. Connection is at the center of it all. And connection is what we teach in the peace and parenting community. It's what I teach in my one-on-one coaching. It's what we live for here at Peace and Parenting. Every morning, I want you to wake up and think, how can I get connected to my kids right now before I start my day? Here's what that looks like for me. I come into Pia's room or Esme's room. I give hugs and kisses. Sometimes they don't want it. Sometimes they're cranky. I sit on the bed. I try to get connected. I empathize. And either way, I do some sort of connection before they get started. Every single day, we do special time. 20 minutes. This is your number one connection priority. I cannot say enough about it. Your child chooses what you do. No phone, no agenda, no questions, no teaching, just you being present in the world. Part 2, eat a meal together. Sit down, look at each other, no screens. This is one of the most underused connection moments we have available to us every single day. We're already eating. We just need to be present while we do it. And pillar 3, empathy. Your child is going to have big feelings. They're going to get upset. Your job is not to fix it or explain it away. Your job is to listen through those feelings. And here's what I don't want you to say. You don't need to be upset about the cookie. We'll have one tomorrow. That's taking their feelings away. Here's what I want you to say instead. Oh, I know. You didn't get the cookie. It's hard. When we only have 2 cookies, I know you wanted all the cookies. Lean into it. Let them feel bad about it. Let them be upset. 75% of this empathy is listening, not talking. We talk a lot. We explain a lot. Just be quiet and let them be heard. You don't have to fix it. Pillar 4, put your phone away. Put it away in the morning when you're with them. Put it away in the evening when you're with them. They need to see your eyes. Presence is the most fundamental form of connection, and the phone is the number one thing stealing it from us. We complain a lot about kids being on their phones, but we are just as bad. I went to the park yesterday and I saw all kinds of moms on the phone, and all the kids were playing by themselves. Pillar 5, play. Find time to play with your kids. And I know some of you are like, no way, I don't play. But playing it was impossible for me too. And when I got my first coach and she said, oh, you have to play, you have to get on the floor and play with your kids, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't play with children. I'm a high school teacher. I drive, I cook meals, I do things, I'm present, but I am not playing. And she said to me, that's the way they speak. That's the language they use to connect. And so I had to teach myself how to play. And it was hard because nobody ever played with me. You can start with something super simple. It can be a thumb war. It can be hide and seek. It can be a staring contest, a pillow fight. I still do pillow fights with my teenagers. I still do wrestling with my 17-year-old. I still chase my 20-year-old around the house and pretend I'm going to get her like I'm a monster. Play is our love language. People love to play, not just kids. One more thing on connection. Stop peppering your kids with questions. How was your day? What did you eat? Who did you sit with? What did you learn? What did you do? They're not going to answer you. And it's not because they don't want to, but they don't want to be interviewed the moment they walk in the door, or they don't want an interview in all of their conversations. Leave room for silence. They will come to you, I promise. These are your daily anchors. Do these consistently and you will see your kids' behavior change and you will feel like yelling less. I guarantee it. Now, even with connection working beautifully, there's still going to be moments, crazy moments, big feeling moments, moments where you feel like you're about to lose it. So let me give you my full toolkit for those moments. These are the emergency moments. Don't try to do all 5 at once. One thing done tonight is the beginning of a whole shift. Okay, now let's talk about what to do in the moment. There are many tools to help you keep the yelling at bay. Today, I'm just going to share a few of those we discussed and implement in our Peace and Parenting community. And that's where we talk about all of this stuff every single day in our 3 weekly meetings. We meet 3 times a week. You can go to all those meetings. I hold a meeting. My coaches each hold a meeting. They're an amazing place to get support. Now, you don't have to use all of these. Just find one that will work for you. The umbrella over all of these is this. Our job is to keep our kids safe, not to scare them, not to make them fear us, just safe. Safe kids do better. If you hold that as your frame, everything I'm about to say will make a lot of sense. Number 1, expect imperfect behavior. Kids are immature. They're going to make poor choices. That is literally part of being a kid. If we go in expecting them to do everything right, we're setting ourselves up to be disappointed. But if we go in expecting that they will mess up and that it's okay, our reaction is going to be so much less intense. Getting mad about it doesn't make it better. Yelling doesn't fix it. And the expectations for children in this world are outlandish. We expect them to behave better than we do. Number 2, take the path of least resistance. This one is underrated. If you're having a crappy day and things are getting wonky, order a pizza, put on a movie. Do something easy. Not every night has to be a gourmet dinner, productive bath time. Sometimes surviving the evening in peace is the win. Underparent. Don't do as much. Number 3, don't try to teach a lesson in the moment. When things are really heated and we're feeling like there's big feelings, and when you are having big feelings too, do not try to teach a lesson right now. Let those hard moments go. Tell yourself, I'll talk about it later when things are calm. Now is not the time. Take a deep breath, come with connection instead. Do special time, ask to play a game. The lesson can wait. Your relationship with your child will not. Number 4, switch to connection instead of correction. I didn't say connect, and then correct. I said switch from correction to connection. When your child's being unruly, instead of correcting them, a lot of people like to say, do one and then the other. I say, don't correct them, connect with them. If they're being unkind, offer a hug. If they're pushing their sibling, go in and say, oh, looks like you guys are having a hard time. Who needs a hug from mommy? And if you say something like, they say something like, you're the dumbest mom ever. Do you know what to do? Give them 100 kisses. Say little kids who say that mommies are dumb are going to get 100 kisses right now. I'm coming over there. And suddenly everyone's laughing. It doesn't matter what they said. They know they're not supposed to. They're offline. They're immature. They're not acting rationally, but you can. Play as your friend. Offer to wrestle. Offer to play hide and seek. Switch to connection instead of correction. It also lightens our mood. We feel better. Number 5, are you stressed from life, from everything you have to do and get done? Your child doing the wrong thing is the last straw. Or is there something your child has actually done that has pushed you over the edge? And if they have, is your edge so far down because you're depleted? Just noticing that in the moment can completely change how you respond. And number 6, when everything's a fight, they're not doing well. If your child won't put on their shoes, won't do their homework, refuses to eat, won't put their clothes away, get off their phone over and over again, they are showing you they're not doing well. Help them do better. Offer special time, get connected, put your phone away, put the world away, get into their world. A child who's behaving badly, I hate to even say that, is a child who is feeling badly. And a child who feels better does better. 2 more tools for you. You don't need to respond to everything. If your child says something you don't like and you can't get to connection, and you know if you open your mouth, you're going to say something yucky, just be quiet. You don't have to respond. Silence is not losing. Silence is choosing. This really works good for teens. And the final tool is don't use punishments. Behaviors get worse with yelling. They get worse with punishments. They even get worse with rewards. Moving behavior with connection is far more effective than any punishment you could ever use. I had to include this one because I know it's a big deal. Punishments create resentment. You cannot do all this connection piece. You cannot work on your inner child and also come with punishments. It will ruin all of your hard work because resentment starts. And a broken connection leads to more off-track behaviors. It leads to yelling and leads to a child that doesn't feel safe. We're going to yell. We can't go from yelling to just not yelling and never do it again. I mean, I hope, but I don't think that's a reality. You're going to mess up. We're imperfect people. We are here to become better people, not perfect people. And when you do yell, there's something incredibly important you need to do: apologize. And a genuine, clean apology, really an amends, what I like to call it, not an apology. I'm sorry is so loaded. We talk about it in our community all the time. I'm sorry gets a bad rap. I'm sorry, you say I'm sorry to someone and they say, oh, that's okay. Or you make kids say sorry and then it has no meaning. I'm sorry, really, I've tried to really reel back on that. But apologies, amends, are one of the most healing things you can offer your child. And here's a bonus. It also models what a good apology looks like. Remember, 80% of what children learn is what modeled to them. When they see you take full responsibility without excuses, right? Not like an apology like my mom, I'm sorry you made me mad. You're teaching them how to do that too. There's a great podcast episode called The New Apology, and it talks about really taking responsibility and not using the words I'm sorry. So here's the wrong way to say it. I'm sorry I yelled at you, but you don't listen to me. And then I become upset. Yikes. That's what my mom would do. That's not an apology. That's blame with an apology attached in front of it. I'm sorry gets hijacked so much. It leaves the responsibility on them. So let's try not to do that. Here's the right way. I should not have yelled at you. That was my fault. And I know it's scary. That's it. No exceptions, no buts, no explanations, no redirections, nothing. Just I'm taking full responsibility for my actions. It doesn't matter what they were doing. They are not at fault. They could be doing the worst thing on earth and we shouldn't yell at them. We are in control of our actions and we should always apologize for that. Okay, my secret tool. This is my favorite and it works almost as good as connection. Sit your children down and give them permission to call you out. You say, mommy and daddy are not going to yell anymore. And if we do, you have permission to say, mommy, daddy, please don't yell at me. When you hear that from your little tiny child in their tiny little calm voice, it will stop you cold. It's a very humbling experience. And I did this with my girls and my little one, Pia, who I don't know how much, she has incredible self-regulation. She called me out in the most calm, quiet way. And it kept me honest. It kept me accountable in a way that no self-help book could ever do. You've learned very valuable tools today, which is our connection plan guide, which walks you through everything with rules and structure. It's going to support everything we talked about today. The podcast. Episode 1 of the Parenting Podcast is all about connection. And then episode 3 is entirely about special time. And the first 10 episodes are all about connection, empathy, play, special time. Work through them in order. They will really help you. If you want to go deeper in this work, really unlock the childhood stuff, really build a connection plan into your life, really have someone walking alongside you every week, one-on-one is for you. One-on-one coaching is where you will find the deepest, quickest results. If you are looking to join the Peace and Parenting community, this is where parents who are doing the work come together. We have weekly trainings, we have ongoing support, a group of people who get it. We have 3 meetings per week. I want to be really clear about that. I was the most awful yeller you could ever imagine. I screamed in my 2-year-old's face. I shamed my daughter. I became her first bully without meaning to. I didn't want to. That's not what I wanted. I did it because I was dysregulated and I didn't know what else to do. And I changed. Use these tools, work on connection, and everything will move in the right direction. But you have to take the time to do it. The work is not complicated. It is not about buying the right gadget or finding the perfect parenting hack. Those don't exist. It's about relationship. It's about showing up consistently with connection and doing the inner work so that the wound underneath stops running the show behind the scenes. Pick one thing from today, just one. Maybe it's starting special time tomorrow. You don't have to do everything at once, just one thing. If it's done consistently, it will begin to change things in your home. Thank you for joining me on the Peace and Parenting Podcast. I'll see you next time.
Hey there, Peace and Parenting family. If you love the podcast but wish to enjoy it without interruptions, your wish has come true. Introducing the ad-free version of the Peace and Parenting Podcast, available exclusively on Apple Podcast. As a subscriber, you'll get all the heartfelt advice, parenting stories, and actionable tips you love without any ads. For less than the cost of a coffee each month, you will enjoy uninterrupted listening while also supporting our work to help you build stronger connections with your kids. Try it out for free. Simply find Peace and Parenting on Apple Podcasts, click Try Free, and you'll gain immediate access to our ad-free episodes. There's no commitment and you can cancel anytime. So if you're ready for a more peaceful, uninterrupted listening experience, subscribe now. Let's keep focusing on connection without the distractions.
A BetterHelp ad. Therapy isn't just for times of major challenge. It's a valuable tool for anyone wanting to improve their well-being. It can help you develop healthy coping skills, set boundaries, and support personal growth. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a fully licensed therapist right from your phone. No commuting, no waiting rooms. And you can switch therapists at any time. Sign up at BetterHelp.com and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com.
Summer adventures are better with Minky Couture. From road trips to ball games, beach nights to backyard movies, Minky has you covered. Don't miss the Everywhere blanket. Water resistant, ultra soft, and made for life on the go. Wherever summer takes you, bring comfort along. MinkyCouture.com, the original best blanket ever.